morning, I'm forecaster Jimmy O'Neill from the KMET Weather Center. For the Beaumont and the Banning area for the daytime hours for the Monday, expect mostly cloudy skies, highs in the lower 70s. For the daytime hours in the IE area, expect mostly cloudy skies, highs mid 70s. And for the daytime in the Coachella Valley, expect partly sunny skies, highs in the middle 80s. I'm forecaster Jimmy O'Neill for Smart Talk 1490 KMET.
That's right.
That's
it's the
right.
morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. How are you spending your day? I can tell you right now, I'm spending mine internationally. I'm so excited to bring to you in just a few minutes a really great duo, which are doing some pretty cool stuff. Who doesn't love a little Stephen King? I do. I think you do too, right, Jesse?
Oh, right. Who doesn't love a little Stephen King in their life?
I know. Now, thinking back to Stephen King movies, which is probably your favorite Stephen King movie of all time, if you have one?
Ooh, that's a tough choice. Cause let's see, cause I no, I want to say it because of that clown, but that movie made me destroy clowns. I hated clowns after that movie.
You were like, forget it.
Right? I don't know, but he's had so many great stories. It's hard to choose one.
Yeah, I will say also sometimes when you think it's a Stephen King, you don't know it's a Stephen King. And for example, until it hits a certain like weirdness and you go, okay, that's obviously a Stephen King. The Green Mile. I remember watching that for the very first time and I knew it was a Stephen King, but it didn't feel like a Stephen King movie. You know what I mean? Did you ever watch that?
Oh yes. I actually read the books too and watched the movie. It's a great story.
Yeah, so Stephen King, sometimes a lot of his stories, if you don't know the Stephen King franchise, sometimes you'll be surprised. I remember showing people, and I told them not to get, because I knew they didn't like, a certain type of thriller or horror films. And I said, just watch this and see what you think. And then I told them later, I said, that was a Stephen King. And they're like, are you kidding me? Because The Green Mile is so, in my opinion, just like it steps into another time, if I want to say the 1930s, and until it hits that weirdness factor, then you go, okay, I get it, it's a Stephen King. But at the same time, done in a really great way. But I mean, he's got others like Firestarter. I'm pretty sure you like that movie, right, Jesse? Because there's something about you and fire, right?
Oh my God. Okay. Catch one thing on fire and everyone, you're a fire starter. But yeah, I do enjoy that movie.
Yeah, and there's so many different ones. Stand By Me, right? Stand By Me as well. And look, a lot of thrillers, a lot of things that sometimes you go, wait, Stephen King did that? Well, speaking of which, I'm super excited to bring to us somebody that has actually gotten kind of the nod of approval in a really good way. And sometimes whenever you think, okay, what's a filmmaker's like dream job to be able to do? It's obviously to make film, but to make a certain type of film, especially with a Stephen King nod on it, based on Sherlock Holmes, The Last King, especially in another language, the Farsi language, it gets to the point where you go, whoa, am I at that point in my career? And joining me right now are two really big players here. And I will say I met them recently at the Newport Beach Film Festival. And I said, wait a minute, we got to talk about this. And thankfully, they're with us today. So having said that, the two people I've got with me are professionals in their own right, made many shorts, know exactly what they're doing when it comes to shorts and of course things that you can watch right here right now, but also having finished some things. They finished some really good stuff. So I've got with us producer Donnie Lugo and Ali. Ali is doing, again, some pretty good stuff behind the camera. Also, of course, we've got more to ask as to what he's doing other than that, but he's in Canada, she's here in LA, we're here on the world's empire of the internet. Good morning, welcome to the show, both of you.
Morning. Morning.
Now, you two are putting this together as well as I'm sure other great films. Talk to us about, first of all, obviously, producing the Stephen King story. What was that moment like when you got the nod to do that?
So I'll tell you really quickly. But I'll rush. It's a bit of a long story, but I'll rush right through it. Every few years, the Stephen King estate makes few of his short stories available for a creative bid. So they allow filmmakers to sort of like reach out and say why they should be the one producing that particular story. So me and my writing partner were at the Iranian wedding, and we came home drunk, and we went on Reddit, and we saw that this opportunity existed. So we thought, how can we do something super creative? So our submission basically was in the blind, saying that we would take one of these stories and actually adapt it in the Farsi language and do it entirely in Farsi. We submitted it. By the time we woke up from our drunken partying, we realized that we had already received the contract executed from his estate. So we had 18 months to actually make it, and then COVID happened, and we got it extended a couple times, and now we're lucky enough to actually go into production next week in LA.
First of all, congratulations on that. Donnie, how did you two meet?
So we have a mutual friend, Matt Murray. He's a Canadian actor and Ali amazing person. And Ali travels a lot. He's traveling between LA, here, Tokyo, right? Just all over the place. And Matt said, I know someone in LA. I know the perfect person. And so we met and, we talked about potentially, working together, and then COVID hit, which was the best thing for me. Because then I was the only person that was allowed here. They were all stuck in
Right. Okay, that makes
Toronto.
sense. All right. I like how you turned that around and made a good thing out of coronavirus. So most people don't go, that's the best thing for me. Because
I got to do things that I would have never done before, right? And learn filming and just and learn filming and just be completely behind the camera, like fully immersed in it, being directed by 10, 12 people on Zoom, and I'm the only person there with the actors. So it was fascinating and it was enthralling, and it was a great learning experience.
Johnny ended up producing 3 films for us, logistically all in Los Angeles, while we were in our bedrooms and our shorts on Zoom, and she was on location doing all the hard work. It was pretty different filmmaking. It was pretty different filmmaking. Nobody was used to that, but we got a few films done, and one of the ones that Donnie and I produced is actually in the Rain Dance Film Festival in London right now, with Esme Bianco from Game of Thrones. She played Roz in the first 3 seasons, and Naveed Nagafan, who was in Aladdin, played Homeland as well too, and also in Homeland as well too. So it's pretty cool to work with them, as Donnie experienced from their homes, basically, which was
and I think it actually adds something to the experience of being able to produce films internationally, right? That maybe it pushes us beyond our comfort zone and then makes us go, okay, how do we make this work? And how do we even save money along the way? Because that actually saves on expenses, right? Travel and then meet up in location and all that, especially being that you're international.
Absolutely. It also saves on time. But the cool thing about it was, unfortunately, obviously COVID has been terrible for many people. And in our situation, we were in the same boat. We couldn't make movies. But what we realized were a lot of actors were also in the early stages of COVID just sort of available, where normally they would not have been available. On top of your actors. So the idea that we could put a system together, obviously with Donnie's help, where we would production go to their place and set everything up over there and actually shoot, was not only manageable, affordable, but also fairly quick. Because we were forced to creatively come up with storylines that made sense in a very limited location setting. So it was challenging, it was fun, it was exciting, and probably the only positive thing that came out of COVID, at least for us.
I'm glad you're saying this because, what I have found in the film circuit world, especially as of this year, I've already been a part of 3 of them. Newport was one I've never actually ventured out to. I always get asked to go out there, and I just never make it out there. But this year, it was kind of a little different. I was able to spend my time out there, and I was really happy with some of the films that premiered there, including one of which premiered there for the both of you. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, so we have this little film called Liminal, which is actually had, we finished it before COVID, and then festivals got canceled, so we had to sort of like hold on to it for about a year, and then we started the festival run. It's directed by this brilliant Canadian director by the name of Dan Abramovici, who I've now exclusively been producing his films because I'm not going to let go of him that easily. He's super talented, just like Donnie. And we had our basically Orange County premiere, so to speak, at Newport. And prior to that, the film that dances with films in LA a few weeks earlier. We garnered a few rewards along the way, and we're just excited for just being back at the festivals and being in person and meeting people like you, Aaron, which kind of hard to do when the festivals are taking place on Zoom. So
yeah,
it's really fun to be back.
Yeah, that's true. At least we because we were at a really good event. I will say, just a nod to Vans, by the way. They threw a huge event in tandem with the Newport Beach Film Festival, and it had the ability not only to kind of have Tony Hawk there in person. I don't know if you're a skater fan, but seeing Tony Hawk in person for a lot of people is like, oh my God, how cool is this? And then just to have the whole Vans franchise there and have their whole situation. I mean, they were giving out free food, and I go to a lot of events. They never give out free food. They usually charge for it. So I felt like I was stealing. You know what I mean, Donnie?
No, but I will say I had a moment, and Allie was there with Bucky Lasek. So I was raised partially in Orlando, Florida, when skate park first opened, and it was the largest. And my father would drop me off there 2-3 hours while I would go on and do my errands or his errands, and then come back and pick me up. So I literally had a moment where, like, you were unintentionally my babysitter. And he looks at me and he's like, damn, I'm old. I'm like almost 50. And it was just this magical moment where you regress to your childhood and go, oh my God, I'm in front of the legends, pretty much.
Yeah, it was a really good film too on that experience. But let's go back to the both of you. Okay, so obviously working together, people don't understand how, writers, directors, producers, and then actors all work together. I think from afar they do. But they don't understand how close it is that you need to work together in order to kind of put out fires. And I can imagine there are fires always that come up in the process of creating things. Are there any that you could speak of that you've been able to put out together? Because it isn't always clear cut and then precise, just like coronavirus. Like, oh no, this is the big fire. But Donnie, you seem to kind of shine in fires.
Well, I don't like to say I'm a firefighter. I like to say that I'm like Yogi Bear. I prevent fires.
Okay.
But I think a lot of it has to do with communication, especially when we did our films that summer, where I was the only one there. And I think it's all communication. I remember just one time calling Allie and saying, you gotta remember, you guys are over there. I'm here. If I say jump, don't say why. Say how high. And Allie understood that immediately, and the whole team understood it immediately. But it's almost just that conversation that you have to have, and you have to have that trust within your team. So you don't go to bed. Is this going to be done? Is this going to be done? No, you know that it's going to be done.
Right. Ali, did it take long for you to figure that out?
Well, not necessarily, but I will say this. You know how, like, in real estate, they say location. In filmmaking, it's teamwork. And then during COVID, it's like 10 times the teamwork. Donnie has a very great skill set. She knows how to put me in my place. So I just sort of like let her do her thing and shine. And she basically ran that production entirely as a one-man sort of like, or one woman, I should say. Producer, cameraman, tech, audio recorder, everything. She did every single thing remotely. There were 7 of us sitting, like I said, at home on Zoom, and then she was there on the front lines by herself. And that's teamwork, and it's also testament to her skill set as a fantastic producer. So right. We had it easy, honestly. She was doing all the heavy lifting.
Okay, so going forward now, and again, I know you're already featuring these things at certain film festivals. And how many film festivals have you been in just the last year and a half? Just out of curiosity, Ali.
actually have films premiere in. Honestly, and I can prove it like over 100. But physically, we just basically started attending festivals in like September, only 7 or 8 maybe. But over the past few years, we average attending 30, 40 festivals. Because we're constantly producing content, right? On average, we have somewhere between 8 to 12 films every year in the festival circuit, so it does create a lot of footprint for us. But yeah, we're pretty active in that category.
And it's good to also, venture out and meet other great people as well to help along the process. Or sometimes the other actors that you're like, oh, you were in that one. I have a great idea for you. Now, going into this Stephen King version, what can we be excited about it on this one called, again, The Last King, a short story adaptation based on Sherlock Holmes? So is there any little nuggets that we can find out from you both?
Okay, yeah, I can give you guys a couple of previews. So obviously the entire cast is Iranian American. So the Iranian Hollywood community support us big time in this. The entire thing is in the Farsi and subtitles, which is the first time ever for a foreign language film in a foreign language, but also first time in Farsi as well too. This is the coolest thing about this particular story. So it's adapted from the original story, which was called The Doctor's Case, in which case Sherlock doesn't actually solve the crime. Watson does. So this is also a twist that people don't see coming, that Sherlock wasn't able to solve it. The idea that Stephen King wrote about fictitious characters is pretty cool. And I heard early on when you were talking to Jeff about Stephen King movies, like my favorite Stephen King movie that nobody actually, some people would know, is that it's The Shawshank Redemption. That's actually and King film, right? And when we got the email that said like, okay, you've been approved for the rights to this. We're like, oh my god, like what kind of horror film did we get? And we actually got a murder mystery. So that was kind of like So that was kind of like whenever you think of Stephen King, or whenever you think of Stephen King, you don't think of The Green Mile of Shawshank Redemption. You think about It, or Misery, or Pet Sematary. Those kinds of things. Ours is a whodunit, exciting and unique.
Well, I'm excited for the both of you. We have to take a quick break, but I want to keep you both because I want to talk about the production of film, because I feel that you, having done so many films as you have, it's like setting up a little tentpole business, getting it done, and then wrapping it up, getting it edited, getting it produced, getting it all finalized, getting it color corrected, getting it then into the festival circuit. It's like a big machine that you've already created, but I want to talk about the future of film feature length with the both of you. So can we hold you there for a bit?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Perfect. Okay, we'll be right back with more of this dynamic duo, produces some dynamic film right after these messages. Stay tuned.
Experience sheer driving pleasure. Visit BMW of Ontario in the Ontario Auto Centre. Whether you are looking to purchase, lease, or service your BMW, there is only one place to go in the Inland Empire, and that is BMW of Ontario. Visit us today, just east of Interstate 15 off Harupa Street, or online at bmwofontario.com.
The staff and families at Custom Care Solutions Caregivers take this time out to recognize and salute the Palm Desert men and women in uniform, standing tall for our political and economic freedoms around the world. Let's always remember them in our thoughts and prayers. Their efforts abroad and our support have kept America strong. That message was courtesy of your good friend at Custom Care Solutions Caregivers, 42201 Beacon Hill in Palm Desert. They're always working to keep our community moving in a positive direction.
When it comes to health and well-being, cellular hydration is the key. You could say that hydration is the key to every wellness program. And structured water in its natural state is the key to cellular hydration. Most of the water available to us has been processed for purity, safety, and convenience. But processing causes water to lose its natural hexagonal structure, with unfortunate unfortunate effects for our bodies. Now you can take your personal hydration to a whole new level with the glassware that restructures water in just 3 minutes. Golden Ratio Products brings you these amazing water bottles, carafes, and drinking glasses, which put the life back into the water you drink. Try it, and you'll be amazed at the effects you feel in your body. Go to goldenratioproducts.com for the next phase of your water consciousness.
Hey, Mark's here. We want people should know about the new Italian radio show on KMET. Like my Uncle Vinny used to say, Gumbas non stonate.
There is no such word in Italian.
Forget about it. Tell them about the show.
The Italian radio show presented by West Coast Italian Radio.
Mondays at 4 p.m. on KMET 1490 or stream us live 24/7 from our website at WCIR.biz.
Make sure to tune in.
You don't want that we should have to tell you twice.
Mattress Brothers Overstock mattress sale. Just $3.99 for a foam encased queen pillow top set. $3.99. Check out Mattress Brothers $3.99 Overstock sale. Mattress Brothers at 120 West Redlands Boulevard in Redlands. The $3.99 Overstock sale is on now. $3.99 for a foam encased queen pillow top set. Mattress Brothers also has locations in Hemet, Riverside, and Palm Desert. The $3.99 queen pillow top sale on now.
Welcome back. Yes, it is the morning show here on ABC News Radio KMET 1490 AM. And if you're just joining us, we're talking to some great filmmakers. We've got Ali Mashayekhi, who's the president of Landed Entertainment, a Canadian-based film production company. He's produced over 60 films around the world since 2003, including Japan, Indonesia, USA, Netherlands, and France. This man knows how to travel and travel well. Is also the executive director of the EDA Foundation, which is a nonprofit organization founded by Mina Masood, which aims to inspire inclusivity and diversity in the arts. He's also an ambassador for Inara, which is a nonprofit charity that helps war-wounded children around the world, created by CNN's Arwa Damon. Obviously, you two have been able to do some really good things, but Ali, I got to ask you, why is that so important, especially when it comes to EDA, which is for the ethnically diverse artists?
Yeah, so growing up with in Toronto with immigrant parents who came from Iran, my path to be a doctor, to be a doctor, coming to Canada. If I didn't fulfill that quest, it would have been a failure. And a lot of from families, kids who come from immigrant families, Canada, America, Canada. There's expectations in the academic section. But some of these kids have artistic inclination, but they don't get that support from home that they should get. So the EDA Foundation was created by Mina Masood to give an opportunity to not only educate the parents on how there is a possibility where you can make a livelihood out of the entertainment industry, but also support them financially and pay for acting and things. Whatever creative initiatives that the kids or even young adults had that maybe couldn't afford, we try to sort of step in and fill in that void. Because Mina and I and John, all of us, of course, and all of us sort of like that are those 48 shades of gray in between. We've all sort of like suffered through that at certain points in our lives. So the EDA right now is Canadian, unfortunately only Canadian. But we're going to expand but we're going to expand to the United States and other countries as well, open it up to anybody from anywhere around the world that might get their careers started.
Donnie, you mentioned you as well. You have, I remember we were talking about your background, and again, I always like to talk about heritage and why it's important. And although you're all the way from the U.S. to Florida and then some, where's your family from?
Puerto Rico. I was born there, but my parents were very strict about education, just like, in that part is you migrate for financial reasons or for a better life. And the guarantee that is told is you have to follow these rules and regulations to be successful. And the entertainment industry is not guaranteed. So we went, that's a big connection within even the Spanish communities, just all over. We want everybody to succeed, and there's no guarantee in this field. So that's what makes it so hard and nice to receive support in other areas. But yes, my first language is Spanish.
Yeah, and I love that you said Puerto Rico, because Puerto Rico actually, I believe, has some really good tax credits as well, and I'm sure there's something coming around the corner for you on that.
That's really interesting. That's really interesting. So the tax credit started a couple years ago, and a lot of people are migrating. And a lot of people are migrating there. You just have to live there 6 months out of the year. So let's see how that goes. Really interesting. But it's really, really interesting in the film community as well as embracing it, and it's growing, but it's still a little bit of a slow process.
I can see that. I think they need to do more here on the home front, because Puerto Rico, again, having to undergo some pretty bad disasters, although now we're seeing it all around the world. But still, again, something that needs to be thought of and done so in a really good way, because I feel like, unfortunately, being on the outskirts of the U.S., people really are still kind of, I'm not going to call people out, but they're kind of dumb about it. You know what I mean?
I mean, if you really look at it after Maria, what was it, 40% of Americans didn't know that Puerto Rico was part of the state. So they would say, what do you guys think about helping Puerto Rico? And they'd be like, why? And then as soon as they would find out it's an American territory, they go, oh yeah, but it's they're American. But it's been, so it's nothing new. Yeah. So it's nothing new. People are just at all cultured. People are just not cultured in it.
And the Caribbean, right? The Caribbean being so close, I can imagine there's some pretty good projects coming up around the corner. Ali, have you been thinking about that?
So I've predominantly been focused on Western Europe and Japan and South Korea. But over the past couple of years, knowing that she's got that expertise for South America and the Caribbean, we started looking at projects to do there. It's just usually with films that people, sometimes don't realize we're always like 2 or 3 years worth of content. Today I decide I want to shoot in Puerto Rico, I'm looking at like 2025 at the earliest.
Got it.
So it just always lags behind. But yeah, definitely on target. And start going down south and see what we can do.
And then always make sure you don't do it during hurricane season, right? The latter part of the year, starting in, I think it's August through September and October. Is that right, Donnie?
Specifically September. Those are the highs. And you know what? My experiences with hurricanes were a little bit different, because the whole family would come together. My godfather would say we were Noah's Ark. Dogs, cats, rabbits, birds, the whole family, dominoes, no power, electricity for days. So it was kind of like a moment for people to really come together and unite. And that's something that Puerto Ricans have and a lot of things that, for example, Maria was really, really a struggle for Puerto Rico when it came to supplies, because Irma, or the boyfriend, we call it the boyfriend, one hurricane chasing the other. But it was because the Virgin Islands got hit really, really hard with the hurricane before. So Puerto Ricans on their own took their boats and everything filled with supplies and took it to the Virgin Islands. Unknowingly, a week or 2 weeks later, Maria hits. So there's no supplies in the island, and everybody gave everything they had towards the Virgin Islands and everybody that was in need, that wasn't Puerto Rican. So that's where the big area of necessity and then the bureaucracy and everything that happened dwindled, and that's why it was such a disaster.
Yeah, my mom recently said to me, they still don't have power there. I go, Mom, are you looking at old news or what? I don't know what the deal is there, right?
So the issue was that the power grids were over high instead of being underground. The issue was they were having. How do they change it? How do they change that? So the auction or whatever it is to fix it, it's $1.5 billion. They received $750 million ahead of time, but this company has never done anything like it. It's a new company. The heads came in and they eliminated all the pensions and everything else from the public program that they had there. So it's been this battle between the local people and this company that came in to rescue them. So the power still goes out quite often. The sale of solar panels and systems and stuff is just booming there, because every day or every 3 days, the power goes out for at least an hour or more. And they really don't know what's happening or how long it's going to take to fix.
Wow. I just had a conversation with a thought leader who invests in tech, and we were talking about solar being among the top 3 that he needs to invest in, especially in the coming years ahead. But I will say, good job doing what you're doing, obviously, holding down the fort, just by knowing that information and getting out. I feel sometimes we don't talk about our country enough. in a way that we go, we kind of need to help these people, right? Like Flint, Michigan, and or other areas which are kind of left by the wayside. But I will say this, moving more back into film, Ali, question for you. Obviously, moving forward, you've got a lot of great short films. Which, if you had the money and the budget, that you would do and make into a feature-length film right here, right now?
Oh, that's a tough one. Okay. I would actually have to tell you that I would use the one that Donnie and I produced together, called The First Goodbye. That's screening in London. It deals with mental health issues. It deals social class. It deals with sexuality, and it brings these three elements together that sort of seem to be the current society topic of conversation, right? Like class warfare, sexuality, or mental health are essentially like all the various sort of like discussions and issues that we're sort of like going through. So that's the one that I would consider doing because I feel like it has enough legs to become a feature film. And a lot of times short films are just designed to be in experience and moments of time. So they're just there to sort of get a reaction out of you. Whereas this one, when people saw it, they wanted to see much more and sort of build on and elaborate on the characters that we developed. So I'd probably say that would be the one for me.
And what about you, Donnie? I know you've looked at Ali's book of business there, and obviously being an actress and behind the scenes and in front of the scenes and everywhere and then some. You probably do you have the same one or a different one in your mind?
I think I'd go for the same one just to work with Naveed again. He was just absolutely impressive. But touching on that subject that Ali said, it's the part of letting go, the part of when you lose someone and you didn't get to say goodbye. Was there a finale? Is there something more that you have to say? So it does touch on that really hard subject of losing someone and not having that moment of closure, which is quite interesting.
Well, I love it. I love the tag team duo that you guys are building, and I say congratulations for producing film during coronavirus. It's not easy, and I think people they don't understand. Sometimes it adds more dollars to the budget when you do shoot, when you do so in a certain way. But there's ways around it, back to pre-production, post-production, and then doing it virtually. I mean, editing now the process is just look. Let's send some files to you. You send some files back and forth, back and forth. You can have a whole team working independently in their own homes with the post-production part of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's right. The fragmentation that exists right now is actually akin to what the production and post-production relationship was, but now it's like development, pre-production, production, post-production, marketing, all sort of like happening separate from each other. I don't personally like it. The film industry, entertainment is a social industry, but the key thing to our creative survival is adaptation, and I encourage all younger filmmakers to just get creative and don't look at this as an obstacle and just try to come up with creative ways and new ways to tell a story. And in some ways it's going to be because now there is a tolerance sort of like a slightly reduced production value in exchange for new content. COVID's lockdown essentially allowed for indie filmmakers to actually find a good spot on the spectrum. So I'm pretty proud and happy about that.
Yeah, and I think in the years that we come out of coronavirus, you're going to be ahead of it so much more. Other filmmakers are going to go, what? You're going to go, man, I could cut your budget down like to a third of what it is, right?
Totally. I mean, Donnie did that when we were doing the first. Our budget probably for that film would be somewhere around like 25,000 US for a 4-5-minute film, and it ended up being less than 5.
Wow, Donnie, congratulations! That's almost unheard of. Good job.
The interesting part of the future, the filmmaking and everything is a lot of us know the development part and how to make a film. And I think where Ali really, his talent is beyond anything is, that part. But what do you do after? Because a lot of us can make a film and then it's like, what do we do? What do we do with it? Where do we go from here? We know about festivals, but what about distribution? Who do we show it to? How can we get this seen? How can we, option it or anything else like that?
Yeah, well, that's what I always say is the next step, because I remember talking to the producer of Superman, And they did something that was completely different. He used to produce with his father. And he says, if I'm going to put any time in anything, I'm going to put it into a feature length because it takes so much time to do it. And they did the opposite of what most film companies do. They did the first one and the second one at the same time, but then they broke it up in different ways. Granted, they had problems with the director down the line and money budgets and all that. But having said that, you know, look where we're at today. I look at the filmmakers of yesteryear, and they had it so much harder, bigger equipment, bigger, you know, having to splice film, not do it digitally. They had to come up with their own, you know, stuff. Now you can outsource all that for certain special effects, and you could do so less than what you used to in the past, because back to what you hit on, Ali, a lot of people are technically not working in the film industry, and they are just not making what they used to, because the big draw budgets now are kind of a thing of the past, at least I foresee at least another year and a half. Because the only really big ones that we've seen, and I've been to the film, I went to see Dune, and I thought, okay, now that's big budget. But what other films are there? And your type of films are done at a nominal cost compared to some of these other films. Does that make sense, Ali?
Yeah, totally. Totally. What ends up happening is like, you know, sometimes just the audience gets tired of like the big blockbusters, become competitive, and the types of films that we produce, like, you know, you can go on various websites and rent it for 99 cents, or, you know, download it for $2 versus going to the theaters, you know, all that money on popcorn and all of that, and it becomes this like expensive experience. And we give them original content that actually isn't for the most part repetitive. Like short films are honestly the most genuinely original medium when it comes to films, because they're usually the individual's personal experience, and they're not like formulaic to what society expects, like a Hollywood blockbuster. So there's a lot of joy and pleasure in watching short films, and I highly recommend your listeners to just like this coming weekend pick a few short films and watch, and you'll soon realize like it will actually change their perspective on filmmaking. Because the storylines are so much more personal.
Well, and I love anything based on like a short adaptation, right? I remember iRobot, when I saw the ending of that, it was like a short adaptation. I was like, where's the feature length of the book? And some of these stories are literally feature length, but based on a very short story. So you guys are doing that, doing it well. Donnie, congratulations on making it work, and congratulations on doing it in what I call the COVID situation that we have today, making things make sense, and then moving forward, when we get out of it, you'll be like way ahead of it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'll be strong.
Exactly, strong and full of strength. Okay, you two, thank you for making it a great day. For those that want more information on the both of what you're doing, where can they go?
The easiest way is Instagram. If you guys go to basically EDA Foundation, so at EDA Foundation, you'll find all of the different companies that I have there. Donnie can sort of talk her own Instagram. Donnie.
Just at Donnie Lugo. Just easy. DONYLUGO.
Yeah. I like to see the behind the scenes stuff. More stuff. I like to see that, and that's good promotion, right?
Oh yeah. And everything's on Instagram now, right? From there you all connect all things.
Yeah,
that's where we're at. That's where we're at.
It's the visual empire of the world right now, is what I say. But good job with the both of you. Congratulations on all the work you're putting forward. Can't wait to see the Stephen King. I'm not gonna lie, I want to be there. So if you guys are, featuring it anywhere, make sure to bring it to California. Okay, I'm not traveling anytime soon, unless I go on a cruise. I'm not sure.
100%, Aaron. I'll send you a personal screener if you want to watch it safely at home.
I love it. All right, you two. Thank you very much. We'll see you again around the corner. Stay blessed. Okay.
Thanks, Aaron. Thank you.
More right after these messages. Stay tuned.
Facing a criminal charge and the possibility of a jail sentence can be terrifying. Wallen and Claridge is here to help you. Call 877-466-5245. Our law firm has been successfully defending clients facing crimes for over 40 years. We have offices throughout Riverside and San Bernardino County. Call us at 877-466-5245. That is 877-4NO-JAIL for a free phone consultation. We will be there when you call.
Tried shipping a package lately? It's amazing how difficult and time-consuming it can be. Packing, envelopes, boxes, second-day ground, next-day air, it's all enough to give you a headache. Next time, do yourself a favor, go with the pros at the UPS store in Beaumont. They'll pack it right and let you know all your shipping options. You can also take care of everyday tasks like copies, faxing, notary services, and live scan fingerprinting. And while you're there, pay your Edison, gas company, and Verizon bills. Open extended hours Monday through Saturday. The UPS store in Beaumont, located in the Oak Valley Plaza at 1440 Beaumont Avenue. Gas company and Verizon bills. 695956. That's 951-769-5956. Online at the upsstorelocal.com/5027 or Google 5027.
Your health truly is the greatest gift. At U-Theory, quality of life is at the heart of every product we make. From farm to shelf, we travel the world to source the purest, most efficacious, and clinically studied ingredients to create science-backed supplements that support beauty, emotional, digestive, and physical well-being. All U-Theory products are manufactured at our Southern California facility, ensuring the highest quality standards every step of the way. As a family-owned company, we celebrate the power of human potential with the mission to inspire wellness in all. Try U-Theory Immune Plus Daily Wellness. 100% daily values of vitamin C, D3, and zinc. Go beyond the you of today and catch the you of tomorrow. U-Theory.
Get up to the minute forecast and temperatures for Beaumont, Banning, Redlands, Palm Springs, your community, national or international cities, on KMET's website, KMET1490am.com. The station now features AccuWeather. AccuWeather offers weekend and extended forecasts, along with the latest radar map and current conditions. AccuWeather on KMET1490am.com. Logged in every morning for your daily forecast.
Welcome back. Yes, it is the morning show here on ABC News Radio, KMET 1490 AM. I want to do a big shout out to our great dynamic duo, as they will be forever called. Again, any time you get Sherlock Holmes from Stephen King, you got to be excited about that. And, of course, producing and doing so during coronavirus, I think, was the main subject of that, which a lot of people don't understand is very difficult to do, especially with a big team and producing things and, of course, doing it virtually. Even though it sounds easy, it's never easy. But, of course, making it simple is kind of the big challenge that people have to make in order to make sense of it. But I will say, if you can save the almighty dollar each and every time, you could put that towards marketing, you could put that towards promotion, and you could put that and then get that started along the way. Jesse, what did you think of that interview?
Oh, I loved it. I can't wait to see their short film that they do.
Yeah, exactly. Which, again, I know can be seen virtually as well. A lot of these film festivals that he has entered are all now virtual, or at least they have a digital component. I don't know that the Newport Beach Film Festival did that, but I will say, again, La Femme Film Festival, which, of course, we had here, was a hybrid situation, which I like calling it a hybrid because you've got the virtual in tandem with the in-person, and then you get to kind of make sense of that as well. But the event that we all met at, again, where Tony Hawk was at, you had it at a real movie theater, and then everybody is practicing social distancing as much as possible. And then, of course, wearing face masks and such, and then had an outdoor event, which I'm not going to lie, it was cold next to the beach. Not as cold as East Coast, so I'm going to shut my mouth up about that, but still cold for Californians when you're used to, like, beach weather. But at the same time, doing so safely, all as an outdoor event. They had a concert as well. Again, not attended by a massive audience, but kind of like a pretty good spaced environment in the parking lot of the Newport Beach Film Festival, which actually was at, I want to say it was like I'm probably going to get it wrong, but at the Regal Cinema, which was way back in the day, the Edward Cinema. So if anybody knows that in California, that's what it was. Big shout out to Patricia Sommer, who says, hey, everyone, hope your week is starting off right. Let's see. Algenia says, I'm tuning in for 10 minutes, just taking lunch, friends. Happy lunch day with a team of 15. That's awesome. Good job. And yes, says he loves Sherlock Holmes and Mr. Monk. I will review later. Missed interview out at lunch. And yes, you can always watch our all of our good content through the World Wide Web of the online world of internet. Of course, our show is on terrestrial radio, commercial radio, which we appreciate those of you that tune in each and every day through our regular means, 1490 AM or 98.1 FM, but also through our digital means as well, through the Alexa app. Some of you will say, Alexa, I'd like to watch KMET 1490 AM, or listen, whichever way you say it, and or, of course, tune in through one of our many devices, including Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Periscope TV, LinkedIn, and Twitter. So we appreciate each and every one of you for that. Jesse, what's going on in the world?
Oh, there's a lot going on in the world, but there's actually one thing I'm actually very interested in. Did you hear about the California condors?
I did not hear about the California condors. What's going on with the condors of California?
So apparently the discovery that condors are capable of giving virgin births. So apparently a couple of condors were given, they popped out, hatched, but yeah, they did not have, they weren't fertilized. So that was actually really, really odd.
Wait, hold up. Well, hold on. You're talking about an immaculate conception of a condor happening? This is true life? I feel like you're about to hit me with something that isn't real. What's going on there?
No. They reproduced asexually. It happens sometimes in other bird species. I've never seen it happen or heard of it happen in condors. But like certain lizards, sharks, stingrays, other fish, and snakes, they can actually reproduce without a male.
I did not know that.
So the moment that comes to humanity, us dudes, we're done.
We're like, see ya. Oh no, they're dying off. They have to produce on their own. Yeah, you're right. Actually, it does happen in nature. I think that's what happened in the movie Jurassic Park, right? Where all of a sudden they're like, well, how are they suddenly having animals without us knowing? They're like, well, some actual reptiles or amphibians do this. And we did, have in their DNA certain amphibians, right? So it does happen. I've just never heard of birds doing that.
It does happen, right? I've never heard of it happening in birds. So is this a leap forward in evolution? I don't know, but you know what? It's really interesting.
Yeah, I'm looking up the information there as you speak, which say U.S. wildlife researchers have discovered that 2 California condors, a critically endangered bird, gave birth without any male genetic DNA. I will say it's odd, but it's not unheard of. Virgin births have been recorded in other bird species, as well as lizards, snakes, sharks, rays, and other fish. Only about 500 California condors remain in the U.S., Southwest, and Mexico. In the 80s, fewer than 24 birds remained in the wild, but conservation efforts have boosted their numbers in recent years. The peer-reviewed findings from San Diego Zoo Wildlife Alliance were published this week in American Genetic Association's Journal of Heredity. The researchers describe how routine genetic screenings of captive birds led to the discovery that 2 male chicks hatched in 2001 and 2009 were related to their mothers and had not inherited DNA from any father bird. I'm not going to lie. I would kind of think like, did something happen with the testing of it all? How can you be so sure? Unless you watch them each day and each night. Jesse, I'm thinking that there's something missing here. I feel like there was a little, she stepped out and nobody knew it. You know what I mean?
Wow. You saying that bird gets around?
Just saying. It could happen really quick with birds. They do fly.
Right? It's such an odd thing to happen. So, you know what? I don't know. And what was weird is because I was watching a YouTube video or TikTok video about species of lizards that, they reproduce asexually and they don't need males. So someone was making a comment like, oh, the moment that comes to humanity, men are done. Unless they can open the pickle jars, then we're really done.
Yeah. It's called parthenogenesis. It's an extremely rare event. It's been recorded in other species before. It happens when a cell in a female behaves like a sperm and fuses with an egg. Wow. And people have problems with Jesus being born immaculately, right? Maybe she had to have him that way. It says it normally occurs in animal populations that have few or no breeding males. Oh, they can do it without us. Well, you know what? Where there's a will, there's a way, Jesse. Oliver Ryder, who's the study's co-author and director of conservation genetics, said, "This is truly an amazing discovery. We were not exactly looking for evidence of parthenogenesis. It just hit us in the face." Yeah, I could see why. We only confirmed it because of the normal genetic studies we do to prove parentage. Unfortunately, both of the chicks have since died. Yikes. One at age 2 in 2003. Oh, man, Jesse, why did you tell me this part?
No, those were from the past ones. I think there were some newborn ones.
And the other in 2017 when it was 7. Jesse!
It happens.
Both mother condors previously had chicks that were bred in the traditional way. One had 11 chicks, while the other, who had been paired with a male for 20 years, had 23 chicks. She reproduced twice more after the virgin birth. Aw. Okay, so look, it does happen in the species of animals, and it is kind of like a thing which says, you know what, you need to reproduce, so reproduce. And however which way it happens, I think it's an interesting bit of story in the science realm, right?
It is, right? I mean, I love condors. They're such a beautiful bird, but they're so big. And you know what? With the population being so low,
yeah,
I would love to see them have like bigger numbers. So I found it like really fascinating. So it was really cool.
Well, I think that's interesting. I think it's amazing. First of all, I wish it happened for the certain rhinos that have been, become extinct as well. But it does say something about keeping the females alive. If you can keep the females alive, you never know, right? But back to there being less and less. Again, there are more than there were back in the 80s, but we still need to do more to keep our, species alive because, I mean, come on, we were entrusted with them, but here we are just, putting them in a really bad way. So, again, the environment, along with certain people who used to hunt them as well for game and otherwise, of course, can create a big problem in the future of any said animal. So I say, interesting enough, where there's a will, there's a way when it comes to our environment, right? Speaking of a will and a way, John Bon Jovi, I don't know if you read this. He's tested positive for COVID. He had to cancel a concert because of it. He actually tested positive during a rapid test before he was set to perform a concert in Miami Beach. An announcer took to the stage to give the crowd the bad news just before Saturday night's concert at Lowe's South Beach was set to begin. That's according to a local affiliate. Bon Jovi, who's 59, along with his bandmates, took rapid tests just before the concert, and of course he tested positive. Now, he's fully vaccinated. Ticket holders were required to show proof of vaccination or negative test results to get into the concert, the highlight of a 3-day hotel package costing up to thousands of dollars a person. The announcer said to the crowd, John feels great, adding that the Living on a Prayer singer was going to bed. He also had been scheduled to participate in a Q&A session and a photo op on Saturday night. There was no word on whether the concert would be rescheduled. I will say that's got to be a lot of unhappy people going to a Bon Jovi experience, but at the same time, good that he got tested and good that he went ahead and said, okay, I'm going to have to do the right thing. But that's got to be difficult, right, Jesse?
Right? Because then you have to tell all your fans, we can't make it because we're sick. So I feel bad.
Yeah, because he is a great performer, but at the same time, he's very, very conscious of his fans. And I know if he would have done it, he would have done it for sure. But he doesn't want to get his bandmates sick or anyone else. So you got to do the right thing, right? And that's got to be difficult. But I think it's also very important to know just because you have the vaccine doesn't mean you cannot get it. Now, will you get better from it? Most likely the answer is yes. However, there's always that slight chance of the type of variant that you get, right? And with concerts like this, you never know who's coming in. You don't know even how he got it, right? So, again, we still have to be careful through it all. I know I got my vaccination shot, but I'm not going to be like, oh, okay, I'm cured, and I'm never going to get it. I had a conversation with my mom about that. I said, look, even though you might get well from it, doesn't mean you won't get it at all. So let's be careful while we go out. And I think that needs to be said to people out there. Just remind yourself, even though you got the vaccination, be careful of it, especially if you got one like 4 or 5 months ago. That means it's almost out of your system, meaning you're going to have to get a second one eventually. All right, people, we are out of time. Make it a great day, whatever you do. Remember, life is worth living. Jesse, take it away.